So we've made a lot of predictions about AI on the show, and some of them came true, some of them haven't come true yet. Doesn't mean they're wrong.
How many of those predictions looked quite a lot like Terminator 2?
Most of them were about how we'll just become like, people who sit around staring in the goggles, being like, "No, everything's great. I love where I live."
So I'm genuinely enthusiastic about the AI overlords because they can't be any worse, can they?
Well, no, they can't. I just sometimes wonder if we're already there and we just don't know it yet. Like, in Terminator 2, when they're in that bit in the future and they're fighting the machines, I just feel like that could be next week, but we don't know. It could have already happened because there's no telling that the machines aren't already running the show.
Well, why do they have all of those sort of globalists going around having lunch everywhere? That seems
presuming they're machines.
Inefficient. I don't think they'd bother with that bit, would they?
I think you've nailed it. So at the point that we don't any longer have these private jet conferences to save the planet, that's the point the machines have taken over.
Yes.
We're not talking about the global overlords today. We're sort of narrowing down onto more personal issues of, I think, every man and lesbian, which is women, of course, being a subject of AI interference. Because, the local lads on 4chan were sitting around and they got bored of posting, I don't know, whatever the hell they post, and decided to move on over to Poll and fix women using AI is their idea. So this is it. They've invented basically a series of tools that will take an image that a woman has uploaded to the internet in which she's being rather suggestive.
To which a thought has uploaded.
Yes.
Onto the internet.
You can even see her thong through that dress. And they've decided to create an AI that will fix her, is how they put it.
So to be very clear for the audience, this is not like the image on the left is the one that she posted.
Mm-hmm.
The one with her tits out is the one that she decided to think, oh yeah, that's a good idea to put that up on the internet where there's a possibility my father might see it. And the AI has actually made her
more respectable
again. Yes.
Well, I think the correct term is probably wife material by comparison. Because lady on the left is someone that if she was trying to talk to you at a bar, it's like, okay, this is a one-night stand.
Yes.
Whereas lady on the right, a bit more interesting. There's also another aspect. I don't know if you boys have noticed it. They added in a feature to the process, which also removes all tattoos, which is their choice there.
Basically, it's like Christian Orthodoxy, the AI version.
Pretty much, seemingly. It gets a little bit more Christian.
But it is better, though, isn't it?
On.
I do appreciate that the internet is now going this way, whereas many years ago, it kind of went the other way. Do you remember when you were younger and you used to play The Sims, and you had that school friend that had that mod for The Sims that took everybody's clothes off? That's just me.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time. Yeah. But now we've gone full circle. So instead of trying to digitally remove people's clothes, we're now saying we want to put more clothes back on. The tattoo removal thing is interesting, though. Because I can appreciate that, some people like to see women more covered up than perhaps that. But the tattoo thing is quite a divisive subject. I like that this AI has gone for the tattoo removal, though, but it is a bit odd because tattoos are all the rage.
I think it's really divisive, especially amongst women's opinions on men's opinions on tattoos.
Women's opinions of men's opinions of tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really where
that's a bit inversion. I've lost on that one.
I feel like
men have opinion on tattoos and women don't always appreciate those.
But I think that women that have tattoos always think that all men will appreciate their tattoos.
Yeah, which isn't true.
No.
I do remember 15 years ago, they were all getting tattoos on their lower back, and then somebody invented the term tramp stamp, and then they just stopped immediately.
Yes.
They didn't all stop, which I suppose we'll find out. Now, before we go any further, I want to make some caveats clear, because this isn't just Lamau Look Women, a segment.
Is it that you have a tramp stamp?
No. Although, do you want one?
No.
Anyway, but what my caveats is that I don't think you can change a whore. So someone also did this to the music video for WAP, which you may remember. And of course, they took Nicki Minaj and her co-host here and basically just covered them up a little bit more. And the point being, look, you look nicer. You look more like a princess than a whore. But obviously, that's not what we're aiming for here. Whores are going to whore. Like, Nicki Minaj was never not... You show this picture. That was the point of the video, right? Oh, Cardi B. God, they all look the same to me. Sorry. But
it is better, though. It is still much better.
But it's not... the name of the song is Wet Ass Pussy. I mean, they're not going for princess look, are they?
Right, okay, fair point. Yes, there's only so much you can do with a song called that, to be fair.
But so, some women just want to do that and they'll always do it. That's something to live with, not to fight. That's kind of just what they are. Right. But there's also, before women get too mad at why you're just focusing on women, there is applications for men which have been done. So 4chan did run it through for a few chaps. So you can see here.
Again, much better.
Got rid of the tattoos on this chap, put him in a suit. There's more of these. Another guy here.
But again, in both cases, if your daughter turned up with either of the examples on the left, I mean, you wouldn't hesitate. You'd just get the hounds out, wouldn't you?
And I get that. It's just that men aren't interesting.
I feel like this could be the basis of a popular new card game where you have to guess which one was before and which one was after.
Count the number of toes.
And give them a backstory.
Yeah.
But regarding the Nicki Minaj or whoever it was video thing, I'm quite glad I've reached the grand old age of 37 and I had absolutely no idea about any of that. Didn't get any of those cultural references, and I'm not complaining.
You didn't understand the hit song "Wet Ass Pussy"?
I don't think I need to hear that.
The main lyrics of the chorus are, quote, "There's some whores in this house, there's some whores in this house," and then it goes on.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah. Right. What was funny is, though, she was caught live streaming. She was playing her own song, and then her kid came in the room, so she turned her own song off.
Awkward.
Yeah. Anyway, but it does apply to men. You can run the AI on that, apparently. It's just no one really cares. Men's looks apparently aren't as important as women's in their lives. So there's that. Moving on. Because this lady here. Now, this is quite a famous comparison because apparently this is the same lady. I'm not sure, but the claim has been made. And this is before university and after university. And people listening, she was a pretty normal young girl and then thought, I love tattoos and did a lot of them all over herself, including the forehead.
So this is the bit of American culture I don't really get. Why is it that Americans spend their whole life saving up so that they can then spend like 400 grand sending their child off to be indoctrinated into hardcore left-wing thought and get bodily mutilated? But they all do it. I don't know why.
You're asking this like I have a solution.
Yeah.
I don't know either. It's
well, at
least here it's free. You get some loans, but you never
if any Americans can explain to me in the comments why you people do this, I mean, I'd be most grateful because it seems like a silly idea to me.
So she's quite this is a famous image of before and after university. So the guys decided to take this and they run it through the AI. And the AI decided to do two things, which remove the tattoos, of course. They also enlarged her tits for some reason. So there we are.
Well, presumably, if she got the money back for the tattoos, she could afford the breasts instead.
Here's one you could have won.
And also a quick holiday to get a tan, I suppose. But there we are. That's a thing. That's what people have done. So there's that. But most of the attention is not on the things men might obsess over usually. It's instead on the pretty dresses, funnily enough. Which I didn't know that was where this was going, but it has. I mean, a lot of women have been seeing this too. So the account there on the right, that's the I don't think there's an official one because it's literally just some guys on 4chan, but the account that's been doing it. So this lady on the left here, she uploaded that picture, those two, and then the Digify app put her in a dress there. And you can see one of the female respondents saying how it is instantly making them beautiful by dressing them up in elegant dresses. Love heart emoji.
So that's confusing for this Western whatever she is. She can't quite understand what's going on with women looking good because they're dressed correctly. Just go to Italy or Hungary or Russia, and you'll just see women dressed like that normally walking down the street.
In the elegant dress rather than most of your ass showing.
Yes.
For the YouTube audience, I may have to go in and put some weird scented bars over some women for this. So if that happens, you'll know why. As if it's a surprise.
Yes, watch on lotuseaters.com, and then you can have uncensored ass crack when you're watching these segments.
If that's what you're into, but many people may just be into the nicer dresses as we discussed.
Yeah.
No, still come and watch on lotuseaters.com anyway.
But there's lots of this. This lady here, of course, the AI decided to put her through the dress massage and dressed her up there. So that's one. Which
it's so important because look, if the one on the right, you think, oh, she's lovely, I'd like to date her or something. And you wouldn't be that bothered if your mates then found that she had put this picture of herself on social media. It's like, oh yeah, you got a good one there, mate. Well done. But if that one, you'd just be embarrassed to, wouldn't you?
There's more of this. I mean, this is one where again, lady with not much on. I mean, again, most of the women we're talking about here probably aren't going to put on pretty dresses anytime soon. But the AI did that, and then it goes forth. This one, and where they put her in a, I don't know, what did you call it, a traditional woman?
Yeah, that one's churchified her. That's a church dress. That is.
Yeah. Which sounds like quite often.
And again, looks hotter.
Has it shrunken the bottom, or is that an optical illusion?
That's probably just because the dress is flowy, which I presume shows it
I
up.
don't know. I'd have to run that through Photoshop to find out.
Yeah. Here's the fourth one. So again, this lady's trying to look interesting, and it dressed her up once more. And this got a lot of people's attention, at least a lot of the focus. And I was wondering whether or not because this app is in the early stages of blowing up, whether or not it will go into the Instagram world. Because Instagram is just full of women trying to find eyeballs. and the quickest way is to dress like on the left there. But then there's a section of Instagram I found which is on the right. Funny, left and right.
Or is it on the right or the left?
Yeah, left and right political wings
Yeah.
actually apply. So there are a lot of people who try and get attention by just being the most elegant and therefore higher status, I guess. But it's a balancing act for sure. But anyway, so a lot of people saw this blow up, and there was one commenter who thought, well, why aren't they just going to the logical conclusion? And the logical conclusion for 4chan was obviously a burqa, thinking there.
That's where my head was going with this, actually. That's where I extrapolated it to.
And someone did do this, where they ran it through and gave her hijab, but you can still see her face. Very haram. But weirdly enough, I don't know what to make of all this, but certainly something to make of it, I think, is this is actually not desirable for the people doing the apping. Because, of course, 4chan isn't made up of hardcore Islamists. It's made up of, like, people who kind of waste their time, and then the occasional mad lad who, like, finds Shia LaBeouf's flag through the star signs. I mean, that's the weird thing about 4chan. Most of the time it's dumb, and then it does weirdly high technology stuff.
But presumably they actually want like a wife or girlfriend at some point. They don't want to just be paying $6.99 for her nudes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't think the people doing this are all 16 or something. I mean, the person creating this series of tools to then do this is presumably quite intelligent. And they seem to want something that's more Western traditionalist, which
Yes.
is why.
See, this is a whole new world for me because I come from the corner of the internet it's just cars. So in my in my corner of the internet, people use AI to generate like what would the newest Volvo estate look like if it was actually. Yeah, I know, but that's what turns me on. Let me finish. What would the newest Volvo estate look like if it was actually a woody American station wagon from the 1970s? And then all of that goes around all of the Facebook groups, and everybody's saying, wouldn't it be fantastic if they did that? So this is like a whole new world for me that I didn't know existed.
You can change everything.
You can change everything, but I'm not sure that's a good thing. It's kind of worrying. When you're all on the internet putting wood panels on a brand new Volvo, that's one thing. But but then you're only 2 steps away from everyone wearing a burqa.
Yeah. Well, so there's another app that someone invented a while back, which I seem to recall, or you could use deepfakes, in which a lot of horny men have instead been doing the opposite, which is undressing women or putting their favorite celebrities in videos of pornography, right? And that was the like use of AI in regards to female beauty, is how I'll put it, up until now. And now it also contains how do we make my perfect wife with the perfect clothes I'd like her to wear. And so the response to this is where we jump onto now. And the first response I found, or the most liked responses, were actually from feminists who were very angry. And
go on, give us a summary of the feminist response to AI overdressing scantily clad women.
Well, it's that men are evil.
Men are evil.
Men are to blame for wanting us to dress nicer.
Did we want them to take their clothes off, or did we want them to dress nicer? Because surely, particularly with the Instagram-y sort of stuff where you take your clothes off and then you make... I make YouTube videos for men, predominantly. I know I have some females.
You have an Instagram?
Well, yeah, but I don't really use it much.
Oh, that's where you take it off.
The thing is, if you're a woman who has realized that you can take your clothes off on Instagram or any other platform and make money, is that, from a feminist point of view, your fault, my fault, our fault, society's fault? Whose fault is that? Or is it, at the end of the day, is it all just money?
I think feminists don't know what they want, and it's why they're...
Like vegans.
Yeah, why their arguments become kind of incoherent. And I think we can see one here, because, I mean, this is the most liked response on here. 300,000 likes there on the single tweet.
What does she say?
Women who dress modestly are getting unclothed with AI, whilst those who dressed immodestly are getting clothed with AI. This paradox reflects the control men seek over women's attire, regardless of modesty.
Hang on. Can I read that? This paradox reflects the control men seek over women's attire, regardless of modesty. Why is it suddenly a male over women thing when it's just been done by a computer and you don't know who's at the end of it? Is it just because this is the sort... I'm confused.
There's a lot of things I think wrong with this. So the idea that men seek control over women's attire, that sentence doesn't really make any sense. I'm sorry, but like, this isn't actually the patriarchy where we force you to wear the dress, you whore. Instead, men have preferences. They have desires, moods, fashion, and therefore in their partner, they have desires, moods, fashion on that. It's not control. I mean, shut up. That's just not what it is.
It's a good point, though, because men do have things that they like and don't like, and that's a spectrum. But AI, or this AI program, isn't necessarily respecting all of the likes and dislikes that men have on the spectrum. It's only putting things in from a certain point on the spectrum, which is I like people to look like they've just come out of going to church, whereas it's not respective of all viewpoints.
But how could it be? And that's the mad thing. Like, she's saying that all men want X or all men want Y, and therefore men are schizophrenic and trying to control us. It's like, no, that's not human life.
You twist yourself in circles with it, don't you?
If you only think in terms of men versus women, yeah, you will become a mad person. Instead, there are myriad kinds of men and women who have myriad kinds of different likes, and therefore these mesh in weird ways. I mean, could you imagine sitting there and saying that women like a certain male celebrity, therefore women are trying to control what we dress and how we look and what muscles we have? No.
I do want a bit more dignity, though. I mean, I like this. I think this is good.
Yeah, it's personal preference.
I'm going to dig out a new form of AI that takes the original photos and then just puts them in a Volvo.
That can be done. But she wasn't the only one. There was another one that did this, and this was the second most liked thing I could find at 5K likes. But the thing is, it's the same argument. It's the same schizophrenic nonsense from a feminist who's like, yeah, there's men trying to control women. It's like, no. The Twitter account can't hurt you. It can't make you wear that dress. It's just that maybe there are men out there that would like you wearing that dress. That's all. And the thing as well, I don't think the men doing the unclothing app and the men making the clothing app are the same men. And they're probably different kinds of men. So, just saying.
Well, and these particular thoughts have already undressed themselves.
Yeah.
We're just trying to show them the life they could have had.
There's that argument. So how did women take it? Well, the women involved, so this is one of them, where she got covered up. She got angry because they got rid of her tattoos, so she posted a middle finger. And then they got rid of the tattoos on her middle finger. And then she blocked them. And the thing was, I noticed this is just shorthand because I don't have the time. This happened with all of them, basically. All of them didn't appreciate being shown a version of themselves.
That's basically a summary of the internet in 2024.
Here's an idea. Blocked.
Yeah.
Oh. Okie dokie.
That is fantastic.
So here's the main account that seems to be doing this. As you can see again there, also doing it to men. So this chap got the works. And they also started doing it to memes, keep in mind. Some people may recognize or not recognize this one, but this gentleman has been now dressed up instead of his normal attire. And I must say, weirdly enough, this did remind me of something that did pop up on the internet, God, about 10 years ago. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's safe for work pornography.
Right.
So what you would do is you'd find pornography and then you'd go into MS Paint and reinterpret the whole thing so it doesn't look like pornography.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was the early days of the internet. Yes.
This lady playing with her cat, for example, which this is how far the internet has come, is all I wanted to say with this one.
I told my wife I was going on a very respectable podcast made by professionals. And this is where we've ended up. I hope you're not watching, darling.
No, that was yesterday. It's me and Callum today.
Yeah, that's more fun. But anyway, that's not the most brutal aspect. So that's all good fun. But the most brutal aspect out of all of this was something else they did, which this might be a bit more hurtful, but there we are. It's what happened. They started giving them kids.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So the image on the left is girl showing off her ass. Image on the right, gone through the AI. She's now got 3 kids.
Definitely also got a smaller ass.
Yeah, she's got a Jeremy Beadle arm, isn't she? That's been equipped.
Now, of course, the AI is obviously AI, so it gave her some extra toes, and her head's not been shaped into proportion. But that's not really the point.
But still, this is the life you could have had if you weren't selling photos of your ass online for $6.99 a month.
You had decided to have 3 children, 3rd generation, with your brother.
So this was
yes.
A series of the lads who were using the tool decided to go this route instead. They also did a series of others where they made them very Christian. So this lady here.
Oh, that's much better.
She was given a child and covered up with a shawl and a cross around her neck. So there we are. So that's okay. Yeah, some of them are going to do that. And it kept happening as well. This lady here with her puppy got turned into a lady with a child. So there we are. And there's a lot of text at the bottom there of someone being like, imagine being able to see what your life could have been. It's certainly something. But there we are. That's something that's happened.
You've basically confirmed this morning that AI is not necessarily a good thing.
No, this is a good thing.
Depends on how you look at it, I suppose.
I just can't see that it is. I mean, like I say, you extrapolate it to its furthest point, and all you get is people arguing over what they like in women, and therefore women's clothing. Then you've got women arguing with men saying, well, you should love me for what I am and not want me to be a Christian Orthodox person with 3 children. And then you've got the fact that all of this is being done and the programs are being built by people that have just got far too much time on their hands.
I see this more as sort of training wheels. So it's like the AI is thinking to itself, okay, these people want us to run society because politicians are screwing up so much.
Yeah.
But we've got to prove ourselves first. So we start with something that's smaller but manageable. So we fix women, right? And then once we've done that, we then move on to society as a whole.
No, I think it's the other way around. I think AI is already running the show. And what it's doing is it's going, right, while we run the show over here as robots and prepare for Terminator 2, let's just distract them with this crap.
Fair enough.
But anyway, that's
good job.
That's a thing that happened. I don't know where it's going. I did see that some dastardly guys got hold of it and started taking single mothers and altering their babies and then giving them a husband on screen, which was got to be the cruelest yet. So there's that. I mean, it certainly can go into worse places than giving some women some children, but that's that. And I don't know. Tell me what you think, I guess, in the comments, because mostly what I got out of it is just I'm impressed that the AI has a better fashion sense than most Instagram women, which...
Very good.
There we are.
Right.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content on the site, such as the Contemplation series, this episode on Freud and psychoanalysis. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.